Cubs Radio.
Cubs Radio.
A show about nothing. Two morons are talking. They both are really funny. They just go with the flow. It's the Hershey and Keegs show.
Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've clicked on the link, please share it. Let everybody know. Have them listen to us also. We thank you for tuning in to listen to us rather than President Potato Head fucking yammer on State of the Union. But we're happy. It's the Hershey and Keegs show. I'm Mike Keegan here with Mark Hirschman.
I just said to someone today, I promised you no matter what, there'll be no politics at all. And Mike just called our president a potato head and said he was yammering. So ultimately, that is not sticking to the promise that we had made.
Yeah, I didn't agree to that.
Yeah. But I am appreciative that you had dressed like the color of the wall, so we can't even see that you're dressed.
I'm just a floating head.
Yeah, so you look. So I told you, someone had made a comment. I don't know if it was me or you within the first couple of weeks. You know, you guys should be really cautious about wearing gray because the walls are gray. And as I saw you walk in before, I'm like, could he have fucking wore an outfit?
I should have just have Gov's radio on my chest.
I mean, Jesus, I don't know where it begins and ends.
I went all in, Mark. That's
You
what I
look
did.
good, buddy. You look good.
Thank you. Good to see you.
And Silly Sally's here. Hi, Silly Sally.
Hey guys. Hi everyone.
What's
Hi,
cooking with
We
you?
missed you.
We do miss Sally when we're not with her. We definitely do.
That's your
I
drink.
always get to be with me, so
Yeah.
Lucky you.
So
That's
yeah.
your drink of choice this week.
Well, I'll
Mark?
tell you why. You know,
we rate
a
juicy
fruit
juice.
box.
I'll tell you why. Because if you remember, you know, we talked about that we had a couple of people who wanted to be, for lack of a better term, a whack packer. Although we're not going to use that term because that's a Howard Stern term, and he's our main competition.
We call ours Hershtards.
Yeah, no, we don't do that. God, you've already broken 6 rules, and
All
the
right.
show just started. We are gonna no, it doesn't matter what we're gonna call them. The point
I'm
is,
in rare form today, Hershey.
okay, relax. Okay,
right, all
just
right,
slow
all
your
right.
roll. Okay, there, President Yama.
Rich Kleiman wants you to answer your phone, damn it.
Is that him calling you?
So ultimately, President Yammer, yeah. Rich Kleiman, who just commented, he had sent me a message the other day. Great show, but do you have a kill mic? Because every time you took a drink of water, I heard the crinkling of the bottle. So I thought about that. I grabbed a couple of bottles of water as I was leaving the house, and I'm like, no, I don't want to crinkle.
You testing water bottles to see which didn't crinkle? Like
You
this,
know
I
what?
have one here. It doesn't crinkle.
So I have, and this is, you know, one of the many things that Stacy can't stand about me, is that when I drink a bottle of water, whether it be Poland Spring or whatever, I suck the air out of it, and every time I take a drink, there's a crinkle involved.
You're a creature of habit, just grabbing it and sucking it.
I don't know. I'm a grabber and sucker.
Like, that's why I do a podcast with you.
Thank you. So I'm like, I saw this, and I'm like, you know what? This is not gonna crinkle.
Now you snatched one of Max's juicy
Yeah.
juices, and you were on your way.
I'm on my way, and so Kleiman's not going to be upset about it. Hopefully, nobody else is going to be. Stacy, if she happens to watch, which is not going to happen, she won't get pissed about me sucking in air and all that kind of stuff.
She doesn't much care for you, does she?
Does not.
Yeah.
Does not at all.
The old wife, the old Bull and Shane.
Yeah, but we'll
Please
get.
don't tell her I called her Bull and Shane.
We'll get into that in a little while. But I know that you had something that you were itching. Beside the itch that you had told me about, that's not what I'm referring to. Something that you were itching to talk about today that you wanted that you had happened
Yeah,
over the
well, we're
weekend.
gonna go over our weekends, and
Yeah,
I had a great weekend. Well, the whole week since the last episode, but I had a great week.
Good.
I did some shows. This past Thursday night, I
Mm-hmm.
did a show, and out in Suffolk. It was for a private marijuana club, marijuana smokers club,
okay.
and it's awesome. It's a monthly show. One of my best friends, Tim Saliani, he books the show once a month.
Nice man. Yeah.
Awesome, great
Mm-hmm.
crowd every month, and they have these booths set up where they sell, marijuana infused drinks and snacks and actual marijuana. And I'm not a big pot guy, not a pot smoker.
Not the weed guy.
No, are you? Are you?
No. I mean, back in the day, but not at this age. I'm not.
should.
No. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm not a big weed guy. I don't smoke. I don't. Every once in a while, I'll take a piece of an edible if I have trouble sleeping or whatever.
Sure.
one of my friends that I haven't seen in 15 years, she was running one of these booths and she was selling marijuana stuff. And I bought a bag of the edibles that she had there.
She's doing well after all that separation time.
She's doing great after 15 years. She's selling weed at a fucking comedy show.
You're doing a comedy show for $7.50 and a free hamburger,
Exactly.
and she's selling pills.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So I bought these. They're like gummy bear edibles.
Okay.
And I just bought them just to say,
Just
I
hey,
missed you,
for a goof, I love you.
I don't smoke weed. I'm not gonna buy the actual weed stuff. I'll buy this. Maybe I'll give it to somebody.
Right.
Following day is Friday, and I get out of work. I had a really long, busy, stressful day at work.
Of course.
And I finished my last job, and I took a half of one.
Half a gummy bear.
Half of a gummy bear.
Half a gummy bear.
Half a gummy bear I ate because I'm a badass. Just to like kind of wind down and just
You
de-stress.
earned it. You fucking earned
Exactly. And they don't kick in for a while. And I live in East Meadow. And,
Right, you have
it's
time.
10 minutes away. So
From Wyandanch to there is nothing.
that's where you get the real stuff. After I ate it, I'm like, oh fuck, I have a doctor's appointment.
Oh, that's always they prefer don't eat or drink anything, just smoke marijuana.
Your blood pressure will be really
Yeah.
low.
Right.
And I'll tell you quite the opposite, because as I pull up to the doctor's office, I'm like, I took a little piece of this. It's just going to de-stress me. They won't even
nibble.
notice. I pull up, and I'm white-knuckling on my fucking
Right.
steering wheel. I am higher than I've ever been.
Oh, my
I am
God.
stoned off my tits right now.
Tit stone.
This tit stoned.
Yeah.
And I'm looking in the rearview mirror. My eyes are glassy. So now, like, I'm a nervous guy, and like I'm starting to like my blood
Palpitate.
my heart's going because I'm like, she's gonna know. She's gonna know I'm high. Like, who goes
Right.
high to a fucking doctor's appointment?
Literally nobody.
Literally nobody. Potheads that smoke pot every day don't go high to a doctor's appointment.
No.
How bad must I be? How much crippling marijuana addiction must I have to go high to my doctor's appointment?
Right.
So she's going to judge me. She's going to probably try to put me in a program. So now I'm going. My blood pressure, I feel my heart go.
Sure.
So they call me over to take my vitals and everything. And sure enough, my blood pressure was really high. And it's been really good. My blood pressure is very good. This was quite high. She goes, wow, your blood pressure is a lot higher. And this isn't the doctor. This is like the little Hispanic lady.
Oh God.
So sorry.
Please.
I
want this show to last 4 weeks. I said 4 weeks.
I was a good boy for 2
Okay,
weeks.
so you had a medical assistant take your blood pressure.
Yes, thank you. I forgot the term
right.
for them.
It's not Hispanic. It's medical assistant.
The term for them.
Okay. Right. Okay.
So she's like, your blood pressure is pretty high. I'm like, she's like, did you like run here or walk here? I'm like, no, I drove here. She's like, did you have something salty? And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna fool her. And all I said to her was, I had a ham. I didn't say I had some ham. I didn't say I had a ham sandwich. I'm like, I had a ham.
Yeah.
She's like, what? I'm like, I had ham. It's very salty.
A whole ham.
Now I'm like,
I had an entire ham on the way
I
here.
said I had a ham. So now I go in to see the doctor and everything.
Yeah.
She walks in, and she goes, "Oh, I see their blood pressure was kind of high." And I'm like, "Well, did she tell you about the ham?"
Right.
I'm just sitting there stoning, and I'm thinking that they're discussing my ham situation.
Well, why wouldn't
Obviously,
they?
they haven't.
No.
But I'm like, "Well, didn't she tell you about the ham?" She's like, "What
Yeah.
are you talking?" And she obviously has to know. Like,
Right.
She's a doctor. That's their job. And I guess she's trying to play it off like she didn't, but like my eyes were glassy.
So just a little tip, and I'm not judging you. We know we've been friends a long time. Yeah. When they see you coming into the office, they're not startled if your pressure's high.
I know, right?
Okay?
Exactly.
So they're not totally bewildered by this, okay? You don't have to make up stories. You don't have to talk about ham.
Whatever was this strain was, it was
Right.
just one that makes you super paranoid.
Oh,
So
the
I go
blood
in there-
pressure strain of gummy bears you got.
Yeah, the gummy
Yeah.
bear strain. Like, it's so weird, like edible marijuana
Yeah.
now. Like, I was in college and high school. I used to buy my weed
yeah.
from the
Rastafarians, of course.
Rastafarians, a Puerto Rican guy named Ray Ray.
Again,
you know,
with the,
like,
yes. Yeah.
that's not a racial slur.
Not
Puerto
at all.
Ricans.
No. You call that to Carla all the time.
No, exactly. That my little Puerto Rican Mexican girlfriend.
So
But like now, like I buy like gluten-free edibles from somebody named River. You know, like it's weird.
So we do need to remember that you are also the same guy who bought a bag of 6 tacos on the way to the emergency room. Okay, let's not forget.
This is true.
So generally speaking,
I'm batting 1,000 in like the last couple of weeks, I guess.
we have in life we have to set up goals that are not even that lofty. You have to make a list, okay, of things that when you go to the doctors, things not to do.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
it's not that difficult.
Yeah.
Okay,
Don't buy Taco Bell,
Right.
and don't eat marijuana edibles.
Just very simply, when you're going to the hospital on the verge of fainting,
Yeah.
don't buy tacos.
True.
And when you're going to have your blood pressure checked, don't get the high blood pressure gummy bears.
That's true. Well, you live and you learn.
So,
And I've learned.
How did everything wind up at the doctor's
Everything
office?
wound up good because it wasn't like she was just going over results of blood work that we had done. So
Okay.
all the blood work came back excellent. Everything came back excellent.
Okay.
Except I'm sitting there yammering about eating a ham.
Now,
stoned out of my
The
face.
first week we're here, which is going back how many years ago? 2
Yeah,
weeks.
it's been a long
You had your phone. You also had a bat phone. Your heart was hooked up to certain things. You had an EKG machine. You had an IV bag. You
I
were
was like
equipped.
Iron Man on the.
How is that
Wow.
working out?
It's working out great.
Okay.
Sent the heart monitor back today. All the results get transferred to my doctor.
Okay.
Everything was fine, because it was all monitoring my heart since I had the thing a couple weeks ago.
So
from the COVID.
you had the post-COVID episode.
Yep.
They've been monitoring your ticker.
And everything's been knock on wood normal since.
Everything's looking pretty good.
Everything's looking good.
Okay.
I'm gonna be around for a little while.
All right,
so.
good. No, because we plan on keeping this thing going right through the end of the spring,
Exactly.
at least. So,
Well,
yeah,
your words, your lips to God's ears.
That's right.
That's
good. And Silly Sally, do you have anything that you want to tell us about your weekend? Anything newsworthy?
No, nothing. Let me. If I come up with something, I'll think of something.
Sally will come up with
Sorry.
something.
tell you, I
don't
came
be
by-
sorry. That's okay.
came by here Saturday night at Governor's
Oh
Comedy
yeah,
Club.
that was a crazy night. You should have came in. There was a whole bunch of people in here.
I walked by a couple times. I was hoping to pop on the radio show, but every seat was full. But every time I walked by, crazy. It was there was a show going on in the main room here. It was the Compound Media guys.
Okay.
Anthony Cumia, Gino Bisconti, Jim Norton popped in.
Oh wow.
Oh, great show. And sold out. 310 people in the main room.
Okay.
And then
I've
there
done
was
that.
John, you have on your own.
I have done that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
John Butera was producing a show in the Giggle Room here, the new Giggle Room.
Okay.
And sold that out, 100 people.
Wow.
There's 400 people walking.
Comedy's
around the club.
back.
Comedy's
There's
back.
a
It
lot
feels
of
good.
people walking up and down the hallway.
Yeah, the place was mobbed. I actually did like an Irish exit because I was just getting overwhelmed outside because there were so many people.
So you came in not to do a spot anywhere, just to say hello.
I came to
people.
say hello, and actually Butera did put me up in the Giggle Room. I did a couple minutes there.
Okay, and how'd that work out?
Awesome. What a crowd.
Great
The
crowd.
room's amazing.
I have not been in the Giggle Room.
No, you haven't seen it yet? At all?
I have not been over there.
It looks
No.
awesome. If the door's open, we'll check it out.
We'll check it out. Yeah, I came in through the back of the past couple of weeks, right in here, because I'm laser focused on what we're doing here.
I know.
I'm laser focused.
You are.
Okay.
You're like a shark.
So before I want to tell you a little bit about some of the things that happened since our last meeting here, but I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of the fact that there's a rumor that there's a Chick-fil-A that's coming to Levittown. I want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. Yeah.
Speaking of my blood pressure,
Yeah. So if I could say to you, what is the last thing that Levittown needs? What would you say?
anything that would cause more traffic
And high blood pressure and other unhealthy factors, right?
and more fast food where you can litter.
So apparently, across from Target, where there's the old Honda dealership, apparently they're talking about moving a Chick-fil-A over there.
It's going to be a nightmare.
Total nightmare. If you've ever been over the one on Old Country Road, I guess it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
It used to be
wrapped.
Nathan's.
It's ridiculous. Wrapped around the block.
Yeah.
So that's coming to Levittown. Because I guess they figure that eating chicken is healthier for most of the people in Levittown. So they're going to eat all different varieties of chicken.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure you were aware of that if you didn't know already. Okay.
How can we white trash Levittown up a little bit more?
How can we trash up Levittown? You'd think it's not possible, but oh my God, it is possible for sure. I do want to tell you guys a little.
Considering we are both from Levittown, I was born in Levittown. I lived in Levittown for many years. Mark is a Levittown resident.
I did not know that you were born in Levittown. I did not
Yep.
realize that.
Yeah, I'm a Levittown guy.
So where you lived over by where?
Right off Gardeners Avenue. Right, my backyard was Abbey Lane School.
Wow.
Yeah,
And what made you guys move to the finer green pastures of East Meadow?
My mother's sister also lived in Levittown with my cousins who were around my age. Then they moved to East Meadow, and then they kind of wanted us to grow up together, go to the same schools.
Okay.
And I think somebody got stabbed on the corner of my block.
Okay. Well, that's... But, I mean, so you're not that far. You're in East Meadow, and it's just as pathetic, basically.
Yeah, it's Levittown Light.
Levittown Light, yeah.
Upper Levittown, I guess.
So I want to tell you guys a little bit of a couple of things that had happened to me this weekend. It was, I guess it was Friday, or maybe it was Saturday, excuse me. It was Saturday, and Max was, as he does from early in the morning until we finally relent, he was harping on the fact that he needed to have some friends over. Max needed to have some friends over. And there's just sometimes that you don't want to have your kids to have friends over. Yeah. But we relented. I said, well, what about, your two buddies, Christian and Jimmy, who they go to a different school now. He doesn't see them very often. And I'm comfortable with those kids, okay?
Yeah.
So any type of oddities, not that they have any oddities, but kids' habits and you can handle it. Yeah. But I call up both of their parents, neither one of them around. So then Max is like, I want to invite this kid over, and I'm going to protect the kid's identity, but I'm going to say his name is Carlos Gomez because the kid had a Latin name. So I said, I don't know Carlos Gomez, Max. I don't know.
What do these kids eat? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not comfortable with it. He's like, no, Samantha was friends with the brother, it's going to be okay. And then he's like, all right, he'll come over around, 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock comes, no Carlos Gomez. So I said to Max, where is him? He's like, oh, his parents are at work. Can you go pick him up? So I basically was like, well, I'm not picking him up. Number one, without you in the car. Yeah. And number two, I need to hear from the parents that it's okay that I go pick up this kid.
How old is Max? Sorry.
11.
Yeah.
And so it's Carlos Gomez, okay? So I said, Max, you have to have a phone call. Someone's got to call me and say it's okay to pick up Carlos Gomez, okay? So
No. You go by yourself, pick him up, bring a puppy and a bag of Skittles, and have the kid come into your car.
That's exactly what Max
without
wanted.
Letting the
That's exactly
know.
what Max wanted. So
Max is setting you up. He's
not stupid. So 10 minutes later, the phone rings. Hello, sir. And I'm like, hi, who's this? He's like, this is Carlos Gomez's father. And I'm like,
no.
Yeah. And I'm like, hi, Carlos Gomez's father. What's going on? He's like, you can pick up Carlos Gomez. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, where are you guys? Like, and I'm assuming they were at work. We're out of the country. So Carlos Gomez's parents are out of the country.
They leave him home.
He's home, and I don't know who he's home with. Okay, I don't know anything about it.
Maybe he has an older brother. I guess he was friends with Samantha.
But he was not there, the kid. But Carlos Gomez was home. It's fine. I said, okay. Does he have any food allergies? Yada yada yada. He said, no, everything's fine. You could pick up Carlos Gomez, keep him, and then I said, I'll drive him home later.
Oh, so you can stop saying his last name, sir. I get it now.
So then he says, well, I said I have to pick up my daughter at work at 9:30. It's on the way. I'll take care of it. So fine. Pick the kid up. We eat dinner. And I guess it must be like 6:45 at night. I go into the shower, and now let's keep in mind here. My backstory that for me, I have some OCD compulsive things. I don't like if someone uses my bathroom in the house. Like I'm cleaning the bathroom as soon as I don't like people in my bathroom. As I told you a long time ago, like, remember the joke I gave you? People should shit at home, like not anywhere else. Like,
it's one of my favorite jokes that I tell. Still.
Like, you don't need to go somewhere to shit. You shit in your house, or if you're in a hotel, that's fine.
This isn't a race thing. It's all nationalities.
It's
so not just Carlos Gomez.
6:45, and that probably made noise also, by the way.
That was worse than the crinkling.
Someone's concerned that you don't have another juice box because you already heard the sound of that. It's gone.
We still have like 40 minutes left, Mark.
So other than crinkle bottles, you have other issues.
I have to do better. Let's do better. So I hear, so I go in the shower, and I don't ever like doors knocking, nothing. And I hear, and I'm like, hello? He's like, hello. And I'm like,
this is Carlos Gomez.
And I'm like, hello? He's like, hello. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And I'm like, hello, like that. And then the noise is gone, okay? So at this point, a couple of friends are over downstairs. A couple that Stacy and I are friends with. They're downstairs.
You have people over your house and you're showering while you have people
Yeah, because they came over early. It was like one of my best friends and his wives. So they were supposed to come at 7. They came at 6:30. And I'm like, I got to shower, bro. So I went upstairs, come downstairs, and my friend John's like, where were you? And I'm like, in the shower. He's like, Carlos Gomez left. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? I'm like, aren't you fucking people in the house? Like, what's going on? He was like, yeah, he went outside. He went looking for you, and then he went outside. And I'm like, I don't understand. So I go outside, and then we get Carlos Gomez back in the house, okay? And I'm like, Max, what's going on? He's like, Carlos Gomez has to leave. And I'm like, he's only been here for an hour and 5 minutes. Like, what do you mean? He's like, his grandmother called.
His abuela?
Is freaking out. He's freaking out. She's freaking out that it's dark out now. Apparently, she was there when I picked him up, and now it's dark. And well, of course it's dark. It's an hour and 10 minutes later, or whatever. She is. I'm like, Carlos, is it okay if you stay a little while? I'll call Grandma. He's like, no. She's upset. You have to get me home. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to put some clothes on and just, we'll go.
Hold on, Grandma. Max's dad has to put his clothes on and then he'll drive me home.
Exactly. He has to, exactly.
I'm really concerned you're actually talking to Carlos in the nude right now. But.
Yeah, really.
That's right. Max's dad has to get out of his bathrobe, his silky bathrobe. So I throw clothes on and I'm like, do you want to go? He's like, no, but, Grandma is nervous that I'm out when it's so late. And I'm like, it's 7 o'clock and it's just turned dark and you just had McDonald's and everything's fine, So then the phone rings and it's his grandmother. And I'm like, all right, I'll calm her down and I'll start talking to her. And I hear her, hello. And I'm like, abuela. And I start talking to her like, she's like, when he come home? So I said, son las siete. I'm trying to say things in Spanish. In la coche right now. I'm saying to her, we're in the car. And she's not responding to any of this. I'm like, Grandma, it's okay. We'll be home in a few minutes. But I'm trying to say, abuela, things like that. So he hangs up. He's like, yeah, she's not happy at all. I'm like,
she's on the German side. She doesn't speak Spanish.
I said to him, I'm like, what happened? Like, why wasn't she acknowledging that I was speaking in Spanish? He's like, she's from the Philippines. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, that's the other grandma that's Spanish. I'm like, why? Carlos Gomez, why didn't you tell me this?
Yeah.
So
why didn't you tell me this, Carlos Gomez? I don't speak Tagalog.
So get a load of this.
Tagalog? Is that what Tagalog?
So we get home and it's 7:15 and Max has already hit up Stacy to have another friend over.
The same night?
Same friggin' night.
You're putting me through this shit.
So I said, I'm out. I'm totally out. You guys are in charge. And then, then they had just a regular neighborhood kid come over and it was fine. But
let's stick to the regular neighborhood kids. You can't handle.
That was a lot for me. That whole thing was like a whirlwind, okay?
Yeah.
So that's like a stressful thing that happened on Saturday. Yeah. Then the next day, weekends are supposed to be relaxing for people, are they not?
Not you.
My weekends.
I don't know if you've ever relaxed in your life.
Can I just tell you that when Monday morning comes and the last person leaves the house, I cannot tell you the level of relaxation that I have.
Yeah.
Because there's no nonsense going on. So
you were not a man that was meant to have 3 children.
Probably. Okay, so
Mark one time showed me his itinerary for going on vacation.
Oh my God!
It looked like the manifesto the Unabomber wrote, and this was just him preparing to leave the house to go on vacation. Things he needs, things were newspaper clippings, and it looked like a ransom note.
This is one of the reasons why I don't like going on vacation, is that I get so stressed with lists and, setting alarms and locking doors and leaving things out for this. It's so much work for me. I just want to be left alone.
Seriously.
But okay, so Saturday night, this kid, the second kid leaves around 10 o'clock. My friends are over till like 1:30. We have some good yucks. The next day, Max has a basketball game, okay, over at Island Garden. And I generally like to watch sporting events, not just away from Stacy, but away from everybody. I just find that I don't usually like listening to other parents scream. I don't like listening. Stacy's very competitive, and I find it to be a little stressful. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I said, I'm going to sit with my wife for this game. And I sit with her, and within like 5 or 10 minutes, we keep on noticing that the ref, who, by the way, the other coach, the opposing coach, is pretty much the physique of George the Animal Steel. Okay, this is a large man, and he keeps on going on the court while the kids are playing. Yeah. And I'm getting pissed, but I know that she's getting pissed because she notices things like that. Yeah. But I'm like, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. He says, no, everything's fine. Yeah. So she's like, what are you, a pussy? And she'll say little things.
You're like me. I'm like, yeah, let Stacey handle it. She got this.
But she has gotten me in my life in situations where she almost wants me to get slaughtered. Like she calls me out because I'm not handy, so I can't. There's nothing I can do there. Yeah. But I technically can get in a fist fight if I can do that. Doesn't mean I'm gonna win, but I can. So she's like, this fucking guy is on the court. What are you going to do? You going to fucking say something? So finally I yell out to the ref. I'm like, ref, the coach is on the court. And he turns around, looks at me, and ignores me because he's one of the refs who normally refs this guy's games, and they definitely are in bed together. Yeah, okay. So it happens a couple more times. Then I get brave, and I'm like, Coach, get off the court. Okay, so this guy hears me now.
You're screaming that from underneath the bleachers, though.
I'm definitely within a few feet of him. He turns and goes, "What?" I said, "Coach, you're on the court." And he walks a little bit closer to me. He goes, "Yeah, I know." So then my response is verbatim, "So get off the court," is what I say to him. He goes, "Relax yourself, guy." Okay. So then but again, you could be the littlest, unfrightening looking person. If you show that you're brave, people respect that. Yeah. So he backed off. Okay. And there was no intimidation. Believe me, I was wearing this cardigan and I think house pants. Okay.
House pants. What's house pants?
I was going to say the same thing.
If you don't know what house pants are, I feel bad for the both of you. Okay. So
Carla, if you're listening, can you please buy me a pair of house pants?
No, I want house pants.
House pants
they sound so comfortable. I don't know what they are.
What is wrong with you?
I'm going to wear them everywhere.
Take my cardigan off now. Now you're embarrassing me. So then next thing you know,
Steve Fernandez suggested edibles. You should have brought for them.
From edibles, yeah. It's not a bad idea. So ultimately, you turn around and there's a whole hullabaloo happening at the timekeeper's desk. The guy's complaining about me.
Oh man!
So I see them pointing over to me, and then of course, being Mr. Brave Guy, I was waving like, "Yeah, that was me, bitches!" Like that was me.
All he sees the loudmouth, tattooed Mark Hirschman dad. They don't realize you're a big fucking pussy.
Meanwhile, it's Stacy who started it all.
Meanwhile, it's like, I don't want my wife to call me a bitch.
Well, because she won't, people won't know that she's instigating me, but you'll hear what are you, fucking pussy? Yeah, exactly. Underneath her breath, she'll go ahead and do that, which happened. I'll tell you another story. This happened about a year or so, maybe 2 years ago. I'm at work across the street from my house, so literally a half mile away, and she calls up and she's wailing and she's screaming and crying, "You better get over here, this guy hit my car and he wants to drive away." And I'm like, "Wait, what? Where are you?" I'm sitting there, how I used to sit and work, relax, with my little fuzzy toy on my desk. Exactly. And eating oranges, little clementines. So I'm like, "Where are you?" She's like, "I'm over by Lynn's house." Lynn is a friend of ours in the neighborhood. "This fucking guy drove into my car and now he wants to leave. You better get over here." So I'm like, what's going to happen here? I'm going to get into a big tussle. So I literally take my long sleeve shirt that I'm wearing and I roll my sleeves up, okay, just to try to look like something.
Pack of Marlboros in there.
Yeah. And Lynn, our friend Lynn, can attest to this story because her daughter happened to see out the window and eventually said to her mom, "I don't know what the hell just happened, but Mark Hirschman went fucking crazy in front of our house." So meanwhile, I don't even know the full story of what happened, but I fly down the block. I stop my car in the middle of the street and I throw the car door open. I leave it running and I run out and I'm like, "You don't fucking go anywhere." And meanwhile, I literally have no idea what happened. I'm yelling, ready to get into a fight because she had made me incensed about whatever happened. Yeah. Long story short, what had happened was the guy had driven by. He had his mom in the car and his side view mirror graced Stacy's side view mirror. Okay. there was no there was nothing on either car. Okay, I don't even think our side view mirror actually moved even.
Oh my God.
Okay. But the guy came out of the car. He's like, "Dude, I'm sorry." Another guy, bigger than me.
I wiped the dust off your car. You're welcome.
The guy was like, "Dude," he goes, "I didn't mean anything by it." He goes, "I said, did you fucking raise your voice to her because she was upset?" So he's like, "No, but she was getting crazy." So I said, "Miss," which is very possible.
And you're like, "Yeah, that's her."
So I'm like giving him my emotions, like like making it like I didn't know what he was talking about. So I fucking calmed the situation down. Told this motherfucker he wanted to shake my hand. I'm like, "Get back in your fucking car and get the fuck out of here if you know what's good for you."
Oh my God.
And then Lynn was like, had Stacy in her arms, and I was the white knight there.
There you go.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's what they do though. Like Carl will do stuff like that, and I'll.
Carla's listening, so
Hi, Carla.
Carla is just like the nicest person in the world. And
Love
she
you,
only does
Carla.
the nicest things. And no, like I remember one time, and it wasn't actually Carla didn't really have anything to do with it, but Juliana had a soccer game one time, and this is when she was like 3 years old. And she was playing like little kid soccer, and like she like got upset on the field, and she started crying. And like one of the coaches was like, "You gotta move." And I went up to this guy, and I'm like, "Don't you tell her to move? She's obviously upset." And I'm like acting like this big tough guy,
Right.
And everybody's looking at me at this 3-year-old soccer game, just screaming at one of the coaches, like, "What is this fucking maniac?"
This crazy.
And the guy's like, "All right, I get it.
Okay.
Jesus Christ." I'm like, all right, now I feel like the biggest dick because every parent is watching me.
That's so funny. And he's telling people, the guy who's the emblem of Governor's Comedy Club.
My dad was there too, like behind me, like about
Right.
to do shit. Like, who are these fucking two maniacs?
Now, I can picture your dad kicking someone's ass, though. So
My dad's a maniac.
I can picture your dad kicking that guy's ass and then your ass for wearing that outfit today also. So... amazing.
Yeah.
So Stacy had so luckily the game ended, but of course all the parents like what happened, what was going on? I'm like, I had to straighten some shit out. I had to make sure that everything was okay because
exactly.
Now, of course, so I thought it was done with, and then the coach is like, "All right, we have a makeup game against that team on Sunday." And I'm like, "No! Please no." Please. I figured if it could go to like next year, he'd forget me.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Forget, yeah.
But of course, now we have a makeup game.
Go bring him a cup of coffee or something.
This guy's a tough looking dude, man. Yeah. He's a tough looking dude, but got to do it for my wife, man.
Exactly.
Got to do it for my wife.
You don't want to. Feel emasculated in front of them.
I feel emasculated a lot, and
it's a terrible feeling.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that this weekend, and that's why I came to the to my wife's rescue.
Nice.
And the kids' rescue. So
there you go.
I don't know if we had told people last week, but we are going to be doing a new segment, like the first time that we're doing some shtick, I guess. What would you call this?
It's a segment. I don't do shit.
Yeah.
I'm a goddamn professional.
Yeah. So this segment is
it's interesting. It was an idea we came up with. It's a
little idea. Basically, and we're gonna have a little musical lead-in. I think even the segment is called "If Herschy and the Keegs Were Gay." Now, it doesn't mean. Yeah. So it's if Herschy and the Keegs were gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, obviously.
There's anything wrong with that. And you know what?
Yeah.
Who's to say we're not?
Who's to say? But
would you like the game music on while you're speaking, or should I lower it now?
Yeah, we're gonna have a little background. That's kind of nice.
All right.
It's kind of nice.
So, and again, it's not. Let's just clarify so people so the audience at home doesn't misinterpret. It's not if Herschy and the Keegs were gay for each other. It's if we in the situation if we were actually gay and we had a chance to romance 5 different celebrities each, who would they be?
Who would they be? Yeah.
So we're gonna do like a little bit of almost like a draft. Like I'm gonna pick one, you're gonna pick one, and we're gonna hope that we don't, pick the same ones. Obviously,
touch penis heads.
Well, no, just because I want to be. If I'm gonna be gay with
we
a
don't
celebrity,
want to cross swords.
Right.
Is what we don't want to do.
Exactly. So Yeah, so we decided that we'll think about it, and believe me, it took us a long time to think. I mean, this is not coming naturally to us at all.
You came up with 5 though. It couldn't have been that hard.
Well, it's funny.
I came up with my 5 before Mark finished the sentence of what we should do.
It's honestly funny because we talked about this, and then we talked about it over the phone, and then literally it couldn't have been 5 minutes later that I had emailed him my 5. And I think he was like, what the fuck?
And I thought that was kind of gay, but then what I did was I emailed him 3 days later, and I'm like, is it gayer that I've been narrowing it down for 2 days? Is that...
Right.
You started with 20.
Yeah.
Right. So we put some thought
I
into
literally
this.
had like a March Madness draft in my room. Like, who am I going to pick here?
So I'm going to go first.
Okay.
I think that that I want to go first because I want to make sure that I get my number 1 draft pick. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So my number 1 pick, if I was going to be gay for a celebrity, would be Paul Rudd.
Love Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
That's a great choice.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. First of all, current sexiest man alive. Is that right?
Yeah, and that's not why I picked him. That's just a bonus.
I know.
Yeah.
You're not a hack.
No, I'm not a hack.
No. But also, the two of you together, I could see, like, you'd be the couple, like, everyone wants to go over their house for game night.
Oh, my God. Thank you.
Paul and Mark having people over.
my
It's going to be
God.
so much fun. They're
Mark
so
and
nice
Paul.
and friendly and, non-aggressive.
Oh, Mark and Paul. Is it Paul and Mark? Mark and Paul.
It's Paul and Mark. Yeah,
We're
that's fine.
both little, curmudgeon little Jewish guys. I believe he is Jewish,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
I don't know. There's something about Paul Rudd. When you look into his eyes, they're like little glass pools of like oceans. Like
true.
they're just little. They're just.
It's true. I could see you two having like little bitchy quarrels, but then when everyone comes over, you're so much fun. And
Right. No, we definitely get that out of the way before people come over, and then it's just it's hand holding and canoodling
Exactly.
from there. So, my number 1 gay draft pick is Paul Rudd. Okay.
Nice.
I will pass it along to you for your number 1 pick.
My number 1, taking him off the board, Mr. Channing Tatum.
Okay.
Because of the dancing.
The dancing definitely has something to do with it, because you know what it is?
You can get like a lap dance.
Oh, exactly. I'll give him a lap dance. But I'll tell you, one of the main thing is, like, yeah, sure, he's a good dancer, and he's sexy, and he's built, and he has a great body, but he's also playful,
Yeah.
we have our little playful moment. We'll wrestle around in the bedroom every now and then. Not that I've put too much thought into it.
None.
But or fantasized about it. But he likes to drink too. He considers himself a functioning alcoholic.
Oh, okay. You too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we have fun. We drink together. We wrestle around. Sometimes he's like the kind of guy also, like, he'll be fun, but then also he'll grab you by the neck and put you up against the wall and then make a man out of you.
Yeah. Suffocate you a little bit until you turn a shade of blue, and then let you go.
Oh yeah.
So I could see this, like, he was Magic Mike, and then he calls you Magic Mike sometimes.
That's right.
Like it's Magic Mike and Magic Mike.
Exactly.
Okay.
He's like, we're watching the movie, and he's like, you know what? And like, this is after like we had a little bit of a fight, and we're like sitting next to each other watching Netflix. Puts his arm around me. He's like, you know what? You're my little Magic Mike.
Oh my God!
And that's how we make up.
I love
that's
this.
how we make up.
I love this. I love this.
It's great.
This is terrific. I love this.
Great.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That was a good one, buddy.
Thank you.
That was a good one. I'm going to go for my number 2 pick. My number 2 pick is Idris Elba.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
Idris Elba.
Jungle Fever.
You know what? Idris Elba is cut out of steel, basically. Okay, but
The guy's body is an 11.
He's an 11. He's easy an 11, and but forget about that. Then just when you're done staring at him and undressing him with your eyes, then he speaks, and it's magic.
Yeah.
Right?
His voice is like hearing the Beatles for the first time.
It's basically it's like Paul and John are inside of him.
Exactly.
Okay, so yeah, if looking like
Voice
Idris,
and just a little bit of salt and pepper scruff.
oh my God, yeah, he is a handsome man, and so Idris Elba, I'm very proud to call you number 2 on What If Herschy and Keegs Were Gay list.
All right.
The Hersh side. Your number 2 is, sir?
None other than Mr. Derek Jeter.
Oh wow, okay.
Like listen, I cry literally. Derek Jeter's last at bat for the Yankees, I DVR'd it, and I've watched it 100 times, never deleted it, and I cry every time I see his last at bat.
Wow.
And when I was growing up and coming into my own is 95, 96 when he first started with the Yankees.
Sure.
So I'm starting to really get into playing sports and
Of
stuff.
course.
And he was an inspiration to me. Not too bad to look at either.
No.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's not. He's more of a like a Channing Tatum guy. He's a kind of like he's the marrying type. He's
Right.
the type. Derek Jeter's the type. If I were gay, I don't picture myself having a relationship with him.
Right.
But a couple of one night stand here and there when he used to he used to take care of you after he slept with you, right? When he brought women back to his house,
Right.
The next day he would give them, a thank you gift and like a couple
Right.
autographed baseballs and
Yeah.
shit, and he treats you nice, but you don't expect much out
Right.
of him. He's a man about town.
Here's some chocolates, Mike. Here's some
Exactly.
chocolates.
That's it. Sometimes that's kind of nice.
No, it's nice to be wooed and loved. That's definitely true. So I almost get the feeling like you can picture yourself in a little bit of a white picket fence situation with Channing Tatum out in the Hamptons, whereas you're just looking for maybe a tawdry after a drunk night in the city with Jeter.
Yeah, and I'm
type
not
of
even
thing.
looking for rough, sweaty sex with
No,
Derek Jeter.
sweet sex.
Sweet sex.
Yeah. Sweet
And
sex.
a lot of cuddling, and then the next morning he's just like, you were great, but I'm still Derek Jeter. I'm the fucking king of New York right now.
I'm Derek Jeter.
Go on your way.
And you were okay with that.
Okay with going on my way. He gives me a little goodbye gift, which is probably worth like $10,000. First of all,
Easily.
Absolutely.
Wow, congratulations on that one.
Thank you very much.
Number 3 for me is Benedict Cumberbatch.
Bumblebee Cumberbund?
Yeah. I don't know. That he has just that silly little way about him. I just can't go ahead and put my finger on it.
That's what it is. He's going to give you a good Rogering.
Oh, yeah. I'd like to be Rogered.
You're going to get Rogered.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's seductive, the accent, and another guy is just symmetrical. You look at the guy; he's fucking symmetrical.
He's symmetrical. That's what I think about him, symmetrical. And the fact that he can turn on that he has the natural British accent.
Yeah.
But then if I want him to just talk like a regular, he can do that also.
And a little bit mysterious. Benedict
I don't know
Cumberbatch.
what he's thinking.
Yeah, you never know what the guy's thinking.
So really, the different accents float your boat.
The
You
accents
know
are
what?
Great, 'cause,
As I compiled this list, it wasn't consciously that I did that, but now that I'm looking at it, there's no question about it. There's
Back
definitely
to Jeter, Steven Fernandez said that maybe he can sign your balls.
okay.
Ooh, hey,
Okay.
he'll need a hell of a big Sharpie though.
Yeah. No, he won't.
No, he won't. But you know what? Absolutely. And I wouldn't watch the things for a month.
We know.
So I was a little concerned when I put Benedict Cumberbatch on my list that I was gonna get mocked by the two of you. So thank you for accepting
No,
that.
I
like
can't
him.
wait
I get
for
it,
Doctor. Is it Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
I'm
I
a big
can't wait for
Marvel
that to
guy.
come out.
Okay, thank you.
And you know what? Never liked the guy until he was in the Marvel movies.
Okay.
And I wouldn't have been able to pick him out in a lineup before the Marvel movies. But I knew the name. I just knew Benedict Cumberbatch is just like a weird name.
Yeah.
But I see where you're coming from.
No, I appreciate it, and because today I even felt like a little, you got a little agita about certain things, and I'm like, I think the show's gonna go great tonight, but I'm gonna have I have a little agita about the Cumberbatch thing.
He was in one of the Star Treks too. I think.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah, he was
He-
like the evil guy, but not really evil.
He was Sherlock Holmes too, right? Is that?
Yeah,
Then,
but
yeah.
yeah, everyone knows.
Well, thank you for accepting Benedict Cumberbatch. Who's
did.
your number 3, Mike?
My number 3. This is a pure Renaissance man, in my opinion.
Sure.
Hugh Jackman.
Oh wow! So you're on Broadway right now.
I'm on Broadway, but I'm also Wolverine.
Okay.
The guy will kick the shit out of you and then sing you to sleep.
Wow.
That's
every
I
man's
just came up
dream.
with that right now too.
That's every man's dream.
Yeah, he does it all. The guy fucking he's Wolverine, and
Yeah.
he's another beautiful body.
Beautiful,
I don't
chiseled.
know- and you know what? I don't know if you've ever seen his wife.
Yes.
His wife is not. She's not the most attractive,
No.
not the most in shape, but he loves her so much.
Yeah.
Not in the greatest shape.
No, when I think of his wife, I think of basically you.
Yeah, exactly.
And with a pretty face, just like you. You are you with a pretty face.
She has
You
a
are
beautiful
beautiful.
face. I have a beautiful face.
You are beautiful, and
Our
so
bodies
she.
aren't 10s, but
Yeah,
he
nor
loves
is
her.
mine.
He loves her unconditionally.
Loves her unconditionally.
So the guy is beautiful. He can sing and dance.
Sensitive.
Loves unconditionally. The guy's
loyal.
The full
You
package,
deserve
yeah.
loyal.
I do.
You've earned loyalty. You've earned my loyalty.
Yeah.
And I think
I'm
you'd
nothing
earn.
but loyal. I might be a little rough around the edges sometimes.
You can be.
and
You
a
can be.
little bit of a curmudgeon and racist, whatever. But
That's not a racist.
Carla said that this is the worst come out of the
Carla,
closet ever.
mind your business, Carla. Mind your
who
business.
is that, Carla?
Yeah.
Thank God one of us isn't dating her.
No. So.
Thank God she's not watching her boyfriend on radio right now talk about
Choose man.
5 different guys that he would fuck.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman, I think, is really for you. I think you've done enough in life to deserve a Hugh Jackman.
I do deserve it
Because he's everything. He's everything that you need.
He literally checks off every box.
He checks off every single box.
I always thought he was a little gay. No,
Wow.
my gaydar like goes off
Well,
a
right.
bit.
you know, if I was gonna be with him, that would be a plus.
you might
I
have a
guess.
chance. Is what I'm saying.
But you are right. Like I didn't know about like the singing and the dance. The first time I knew about Hugh Jackman was Wolverine. I'm like, this guy is just a stud.
What about that circus movie he did
I
with
never
the
saw
singing?
it. It was like the Ring.
Oh
I
my
never saw
God,
it.
he sings like a songbird.
Yeah, my first exposure to the Hugh Jackman was Wolverine.
Wow.
And sorry, Carla.
He made a movie about a Long Island school district that was
Yes,
like stealing all the money.
it was
He
Levittown,
shot
right here.
And
Shot right here.
Yeah,
in Levittown.
they used Division Avenue, so
That's
the
right.
whole
Yeah.
parking lot was filled with.
Yeah,
Right.
That was my chance. You're saying, Sally? I
Yeah, we
Wow.
missed it. Had I known, I would have.
I would've
I would
come
have texted you and said, "Hey,
Exactly.
come visit Governors today."
I
Well-
could have shot my shot.
There's a chance
Carla,
for sequel.
will you be my Hugh Jackman? All right.
So I think we found, if we have to pick one for you, it's going to be Hugh Jackman. For me, my number 4 is I don't know how much you guys are familiar with Common the rapper.
I'm familiar with Common the rapper.
I got to tell you, as long as he doesn't speak, when he speaks and that gibberish comes out, whatever he says, like sometimes he'll do that. It's not actually rapping, but it's like rap talking.
Yeah.
You'll see him like in commercials, and the words don't really make any sense. It's just a bunch of words.
Melodic though.
It's melodic.
Melodic nonetheless.
He can definitely lull me to sleep with that, and spoon me at the same
And
time.
Spooky, but he's also a little bit aggressive. You got that little bit of.
No, he's got an edge to him, and I need to be put in my place
You do.
sometimes.
You certainly do.
As you know,
I do.
but he has that. He just has that raw, manly look to him.
Yep.
And he's also chiseled.
You want a man in this situation.
I need a man.
You need a man, like a man.
Man.
And he got a little bit of gravel in the voice. And, he did that. He was in that.
I know nothing that he's in, honestly.
Well, he did that. It was a Disney movie, right?
I have no clue. I've seen him on commercials.
He did the voice in a Disney movie.
I've been smitten on commercials,
It
and
was
that's
a song he did. I think it was. It might have been Raya the Dragon Slayer.
Couldn't tell you.
He was one of the voices.
Couldn't pay me $1 trillion for me to give you an answer. I have no idea.
But
Like I said, I'll see him on commercials.
Oscar
and,
win. Did he win an Oscar?
I would highly doubt that.
right.
He has seemingly no ability to do anything at all, from what I can see.
Yeah.
But Common is my number 4. Let's hear your number Quattro.
My number Quattro. This one is my Paul Rudd.
Okay.
Jason Sudeikis.
Jason Sudeikis. Yeah.
You know what? I'm a big Ted Lasso guy. I don't know if you watch
Oh, of course, absolutely.
It killed in the awards the other night, and I've never seen it, so I was going to check it out.
You have to watch it. Ted Lasso, in my opinion, is the best show on TV right now.
Let me tell you, you have the same goodness in your heart that Ted Lasso does.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
for you to be able to have a gay romance with the actor that plays Ted Lasso, it seems fitting.
And we'd be like the classic gays, like never, we're not gonna have kids, but you know what? We're happy. We fucking travel all the time.
Constantly on
They're
the road.
always traveling. The gays.
All the
happy
time.
like white gays. Mm-hmm. Always traveling. That would be us.
Yeah.
And he's like Paul Rudd also. Just a friendly guy.
Yeah.
I'm a friendly guy. Come over to our house for game night.
I don't know why, but I can picture you and Jason Sudeikis in a pontoon somewhere.
Exactly.
A pontoon boat somewhere.
In a quiet river.
Where would he be in a pontoon boat, Sally?
I have to go in the
He'd
middle.
be in the water because they're dangerous.
No, I know that.
They,
I know it's in
tip
the
over.
water, but I mean, where in the water?
No, he'd be like in the water.
Oh, in the water.
No, people
Okay.
like die on pontoon boats.
Okay.
They do, but you know what? That's
No,
not
no.
a bad way to go.
Hold
with
on,
Jason
hold on.
Sudeikis.
What's the scene when you're in Italy and you go underneath that little
A gondola?
Oh, a gondola.
Oh, yeah.
Gondola. All right.
I can see you with your little stubby legs wrapped around Jason Sudeikis.
I'm behind.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, I'm
yeah.
behind Jason today.
Yeah, well, they're waiting things out and everything. Yeah, I can see that. I can see
So
you.
I'm wrapped around. I don't really think you have to wrap yourself around anybody.
No, I can see you and Jason Sudeikis.
But I probably would.
And then people like the Italians, like, oh, Mike Keegan and Jason Sudeikis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, you guys are back here in Venice.
Yeah,
That's who would spend a lot of time in Venice, I would assume.
I can't wait to hear your fifth. I'm going to give my fifth, and I'm going to let you close out this new segment, and then Sally will play us out with some of that lovely music. My number five. I thought long and hard about this, and I almost thought about not putting him on, because I thought I'd get judged. But I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm used to getting judged, and I'm not going to worry about it. My number five is one of my favorite musicians, Seal.
Seal.
Again with the accent.
Yeah.
You love an accent. I will
Hold
tell
on.
that.
You just said Seal because you judged his face.
I did judge his face.
Well, don't do that. Because
But that's what you do when you see Seal.
But no, if I put Seal on my list, I deserve enough respect out of you to not to have you judge that he has a skin condition.
If you put a bag over his head and he sings "Kiss from a Rose,"
right,
I'm in love with the guy right away. Once you take that fucking bag off, though, the guy looks like a burnt cat.
Listen, that's something that there's no burns involved. He was born that way.
Is that what it was?
And he has very soft lips. And I think that "A Kiss from a Rose" sounds as beautiful as he looks, honestly. So
"Kiss from a Rose" is one of the most beautiful, probably the most beautiful song that there ever has been written.
It's a gorgeous song, and he's a gorgeous man. So,
he's gotten Heidi Klum. I mean,
okay.
You know,
So,
are they still married, or did they get divorced?
No. She realized that was a mistake. She was like, "What the fuck am I doing here?"
She took off the blinders one day, and
she was like, "This is okay. This gag's over."
Yeah, this is it. We had 3 kids without horror faces.
Oh, God. But I'm a big Seal fan, and he's my number 5. And
I'll tell you one thing I noticed about your list.
Yeah.
Never knew you had an affinity for the colored fellas there, Mark. 3 out of 5.
Well, I like any color of people. That's how how I am that way.
Trying to get back at your father or something? Is that what?
No. I like all races, colors, and creeds.
You know what? That's it. But you know what it is? I noticed accents are huge with you.
Accents.
And were they in any particular order? Like, was number 1 number 1, or was 5 number 1?
I think I didn't really put mine into order until we spoke about it on the show just now.
Yeah, I think mine might be in order. Actually, I didn't realize it.
My number 1 is Hugh Jackman, and
okay.
I always thought, basically, I probably thought Derek Jeter would have always been in my number 1.
I think Idris Elba might be my number 1.
Yeah,
I don't know. But did you do number 5 yet, or are we?
I didn't do my number 5.
Okay, so let's close
Carla
out the
wants
segment.
you to know. Stop saying if you were gay, we accept you.
Thank you, Carla. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to close
for
out the
accepting me,
segment with Mike's number 5. Here we go.
My number 5, and maybe this would turn into my number 1. Jason Momoa.
Okay.
The guy's an 11. Look at him. He's got the body. He's got beautiful, beautiful flowing hair.
Long locks.
For days. For days.
Yeah. And, he was breaking up with Lisa Bonet. Now they're back.
Oh, they're back?
As of yesterday, they're back together.
As of yesterday, because when I was thinking about this, I'm like, oh, he's single. Like this.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Shit.
Try to ruin your parade there, buddy. Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, I'd never seen him before Game of Thrones.
Really? Yeah.
Wow.
Was he in anything major before Game of Thrones, or was that his?
He was in the Water Boy. What was that?
Aquaman.
Right? Aquaman. I knew something with water.
No, that was before Game of Thrones.
I don't know anything about Game of Thrones
because I know him from Aquaman, but you know what? Probably I've seen him in Aquaman first because I didn't watch Game of Thrones until later on. Carla got me into it. My beard. Apparently. Sally, if there was a woman, have you ever thought of a celebrity woman?
We wouldn't plan on putting her on the spot.
I don't want to put you on the spot. Have you ever thought of a?
Gosh, let me think. I don't know. Let me think. I should have been thinking about that while you guys were doing this.
I can't think of a woman I'd
right now. Right. Mike
but
can't
out
think
of all
one,
your choices,
so
I would go with.
He just decided to stun our producer with a question because he can't think of a woman he wants to be with.
How about as a woman?
Idris Elba was probably in my top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you.
I could
brought
see
it
you
up.
with Tony and
same.
very similar.
Yep.
Yeah.
But out of our 10, that's probably your.
Out of the 10, I would pick him.
Yeah, that is a good choice.
Yeah, thank you.
And honestly, he's not in my daily lexicon that I would really think Idris Elba
until now. Yeah,
until now, and
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Yeah, he is up there.
Well, good. Well, I think that that our first out of the box segment went pretty well here.
That's true,
right? Before we close out, I do want to make a little bit of an announcement that Mike and I went over this. We talked about it, and we are ready to release who our first guest, the first guest ever, which will be next Tuesday, March number 8. At 9 p.m., our first guest, which is significant to me and certainly a friend of Mike also, is none other than the great comedian Chris Monty is coming on.
Chris Monty.
Chris Monty.
That's the guy from Vinyl and Kevin Can Wait.
So Chris Monty has been on, let me see, Vinyl, Kevin Can Wait. I'm just going by his website. Vinyl, Kevin Can Wait. He was in the movie Shawshank Redemption, As Good as It Gets. He was in the, was he not in these movies? No?
I don't think so.
Forrest Gump?
I think you're thinking Morgan Freeman.
Oh, well, either way, Chris Monty.
Another black man.
Chris Monty is a good friend of mine, a friend of Mikey's also, and I can't think of any better way to have our first guest on. So it's going to be Chris Monty, and we can't wait for you guys to watch and enjoy him.
Is charismatic, and he's a hell of an entertainer. You're going to love the episodes.
Yeah, I'm super psyched. So that's all I have to say for the week. Michael, do you want to talk about anything else as far as what's going on in the next coming few days for you?
For me, not so much. I have Thursday night. I'm going to be out in Bayshore doing a show. If you want some, if you're in near the Bayshore, you want some information, just inbox me on Facebook, and we'll get you hooked up. Saturday, I'm going to be in Jersey doing a show with my buddies Terry McNeely, Sean Morton, and Carla Okerson, who's listening.
Good.
My girlfriend. I have a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm, sure you do.
And then here at the club, good stuff happening on Saturday night in the Giggle Room. Our buddy Tim Saliani is doing a show.
Beautiful.
Shut Up Stupid. It's his monthly production.
Okay.
He does some great comics on there. Don't miss that. And listen to Gov's Radio. Great shows. Knock 'em Dead comedy. You got to listen to these guys.
Beautiful.
Sally, our Sally and Tony, and you guys are gonna love it. And just listen to the radio and come to the club. That's all you got to do.
Okay, awesome. Well, great show, everybody. Thanks for Silly Sally as always. Michael, thank you.
Thank you.
We will see you guys next Tuesday at 9 o'clock. It's the three of us, along with Mr. Christopher Monty. Signing out.